Hello there, it's Carrie Rhodes here. Welcome back to the Trinity Stamps YouTube channel. In today's video, I am making a 6x6 Easter card full of yummy and delicious treats made from paper and fun foam. First, we're going to start with our background. This is a 5 3/4 by 5 3/4 inch square piece of light blue cardstock that I'm going to stencil with this polka dot pattern. Now, this is a stencil set of 4. There are 4 different sizes of polka dots in this stencil set. They are 9 by 6, so you can do all your favorite card sizes with them, and I love it. I am using the very comfy blending brushes from Trinity Stamps to do this background. It's a big brush that is domed, and it has this little lid that it sits in. And I use Sea Breeze ink from Altenew. Now I am splattering on some white paint with my stencil in place so I can get these really fun and fancy polka dots. I'm going to set that aside to dry while I bring out the Cupcake Card Builder die set. So you can see I've die cut out my frosting, my cupcake paper, and my cupcake. I die cut the frosting from this double scoop paper pad. It's supposed to look like frosting or ice cream, but I thought it could also look like frosting, and if this doesn't make you hungry for ice cream, I don't know what would. But I thought it was a really fun paper pack to include in today's card. And for the cake itself, I'm going to color it with Copic markers. You might have seen my first one is a little dry. I had no idea. I thought it was doing fine, but I just improvised, brought in a different color, and I'm so slowly and gradually building up the layers of this cupcake, starting with the darker colors at the bottom and then working my way up, just getting lighter as I move my way up on the cupcake. And I like to add like little flecks and dots in when I'm making a cupcake. That helps it look more realistic, like it has the crumbs in there and the little openings. And so that's what I'm doing here with E47. I actually did come in, I believe, with E49 later and add some darker little flecks to it. Now, for the cupcake liner itself, I am adding some Y19. There are embossed lines into this paper for those lines in the cupcake liner. So I'm just going over those with my marker and adding that shadowing, and it really gives it some depth and gives it, I don't know, just a more realistic look. And I needed that to go with like my frosting. So for the frosting on the cupcake, I am using my E04 marker to go around this and add shadowing in. Now this also has embossed lines in it, so I'm going to follow along with those and just color them in with this marker, and again add the shadowing in there. But you don't have to do that with these. You can just leave it there. But also, if you're like not so sure about shading, having the lines already there as a guide for you is so nice, and it's really easy to do. So I loved it. It really added that little extra special touch that I thought this cupcake needed to bring it all together. Isn't it cute? Okay, we need a little grass for our treats to sit in because it's Easter. We need Easter grass. So this is the Great Outdoors Slimline die set. You can see it has this long slimline die to cut out a border of grass, and I went with like bright green, so it'd be really fun and Easter Easter feeling grass. Yeah, I'm gluing that at the bottom because even though the stencil is 9 by 6, the polka dots have to have something to connect them to the stencil, so there's a little bit of a gap on this paper, and my grass covered it up perfectly. Now I'm gluing my cupcake liner into place and the actual cupcake part and just those things because I needed them in place in order to cut out my window for my chocolate shaker egg. Did you see my video last week with Trinity Stamps where I made some treat holders using this bunny egg shaker die set? If not, I'm going to link it for you at the end of this video. You gotta watch it next because I had them hold a little treat behind them. It's so cute. They're monogrammed, and I really, when making that, wanted to make a chocolate version and I didn't, so that's kind of what inspired today's card. So I cut an opening into this card with that solid egg shape so that I could make a shaker, and I need to go now around that with some foam tape so that I can hold my shaker bits in place behind that window sheet that I just glued to the back of that opening. I want to make sure I have a nice small square around my egg where all the foam touches end to end so it will hold in my sugared surprise sprinkles. This has chocolate sprinkles plus like little colorful balls in it. The balls are more plasticky and the sprinkles are more clay-like. So I really filled this up. I probably used like half of what I had, and I'm totally fine with that. Like sometimes I just want to splurge and make a card that has all the things, and that's what I'm doing today. So I'm peeling back the liner paper on the foam tape that's around my egg, and I'm backing that with a little bit of a lighter brown. Let's call it milk chocolate. And that is going to let those darker sprinkles just really show up good. But for the frame around my egg where I'm attaching the bunny pieces, I am using a darker brown. So I've got it like milk chocolate and dark chocolate together. And you can see the little feet fit on the shape of the bunny perfectly. Well, maybe you can't see. Like, isn't that rude when people hold the thing off camera? So rude. All right, I sandwiched it between another egg so I could hide that, and then I'm going to glue the entire thing down. The egg shape itself is going to nest right inside that window, and then I've got my ears and my feet that extend out. Then I can add in the pink parts for the inside of the ears, which really just makes it, like, it's so cute with that. And then there's hands there too, little bunny paws. I'm going to add those later because I really wanted my bunny today to hold something, so we're going to save those. But now let's bring in the Peep Show Stampin' Die Set. I'm using just this die right here. I'm cutting it from a piece of yellow fun foam. Like, what else would I cut it from? It totally looks marshmallowy, and I am so in love with it. So there it is, but it needs to be sugared. So I'm going to take a little bit of my crafty glue. I'm going to water it down a smidgerine, and then I'm able to use this to paint right over the top of my fun foam, and then I can sugar it. And what else would you use to sugar it but rock candy glitter, right? Totally. It's like not iridescent. It's just clear glitter. I love it for sugariness. So this fun foam did have adhesive on the back, but do I trust that adhesive? No, I don't, not at all. So I'm going to add some liquid glue to the back. I'm also going to add a scrap of that brown cardstock so that my little face on my Peep has a brown look, which is what Peeps look like. The little painted on face is brown. Okay, we're going to make some more treats for this card, and I'm going to use some pastel colors of cardstock and some Distress Oxide sprays. So this is mustard seed, this is worn lipstick, and then salty ocean. And I'm just giving them a spritz so you can still see the paper behind it, but you have that fine mist of color on top. It's so gorgeous, and the look that I'm trying to create here is that of Cadbury mini eggs. Have you had them? If you haven't, put that on your to-do list. Make it a goal. Put it on your bucket list, but do it right away because they're so yummy. And they are kind of a pastel matte finish on the outside, like a crunchy candy shell with chocolate on the inside. So I'm also splattering these with vintage photo and white paint. Now we got to let that dry, and we're going to move on to embossing our sentiment from the Your Extra. Actually, the set is just called Extra, but this sentiment says Your Extra Special. So I'm inking that up with some clear embossing ink and stamping that down onto some light blue cardstock, and then I'm embossing it with this United embossing powder. Now, it has like blue glitter and yellow embossing powder in it. If you're not familiar with WOW, they have a lot of embossing powders that are mixes. Now, this is one that they are selling to raise money for the efforts in Ukraine to help support the people of Ukraine. So it's a really good cause, and it's a really cool powder. It looks so fun on this blue paper. It's got the flecks of yellow, and I have yellow in my card, and then it's just really not too subtle, but it's really cool because it's glittery and it has the flecks in it, and I've got flecks going on in all other places. So I die cut those out. They each have their own die, each of those words, which is great, so I could fit it onto my card that has all these crazy things going on. And then I had the hands hold on the word special. Okay, in that extra stamp set, there's eggs you can die cut out, and I'm using just the dies without the stamping to cut out my mini eggs. Aren't they cute? Oh my gosh, I love them. So I made little clusters of 3, and then I'm popping those up with foam squares onto my card. Yeah, I couldn't cover up any more of the grass, so that's why they're kind of clustered together. So now let's work on the inside. The outside of my card is like so heavy because it has the shaker and all the popped up things. So I wanted to make another panel for the inside. So I decided to do some more spraying and splattering with those same Distress Oxide sprays. You can see I'm not only spraying, but taking the nozzle out and doing some splatter that way as well. And I can't make an Easter treat card without a chocolate bunny. So this is the chocolate bunny die set. I'm die cutting this from some brown paper. I'm going to cut the bow for my bunny. You can see this little die right here has a bow and like a little tiny pupil for the bunny's eye. And then I'm going to take the smaller egg dies, also from the EGGstra set, and die cut some of those out. And now I can put all of these fun things on the inside of my card. So I back the bunny with a scrap of white, and then I have a place to put on my light blue pupil, and then the bow, and I love that it's also speckled, and we'll stick that down in that bottom left corner of this panel, which is also 5 3/4 by 5 3/4, and then we'll just add all those eggs. I have to say, like, the mini eggs are totally my favorite thing about this card. Also, I love the glittery peeps. Plus, it has a shaker. I don't know, this card was just so much fun. I'm not gonna lie, I'm totally in love with it. All right, this is the Simply Sentimental Happy Set. It has the word Easter in it. So you can use any of the happy words that you want in any of the style of fonts that you want from this set, and then stamp the word Easter with it. I used VersaFine Onyx black ink because I was stamping over the top of those splatters. By the way, the splatters took forever to dry. I got some on my hand, which transferred onto my bunny. I might have to put a second bunny over the top of the one that's already there because he has a little splatter on him. So there's the inside, but I wanted to go over the embossed lines that that chocolate bunny die creates for me with a Copic marker to add in the shadowing. Just like I did on the frosting and the cupcake paper, it really adds to it. The bow also has those embossed lines, so I went ahead and did that. Dotted on my pupil to make it a little darker, and then I decided all those mini eggs needed kind of a highlight, but it's more like a shadow. So I took a coordinating marker and added a shadow to each of them, and it really helped bring them to life, give them a little bit more depth. Also, I added some to my chocolate shaker bunny with sprinkles. This is what I feel like in this land of make-believe treats made out of paper. Wouldn't you open up that chocolate bunny with the sprinkles, and then you put the sprinkles onto the cupcake, and then you eat your mini eggs and your chocolate marshmallow and you get sick off of the frosting on the cupcake, but you'd save the chocolate bunny for later. So that finishes up my card for today. I had so much fun with this. No chocolate was eaten during the making of this card, which you might be surprised to hear. I'm a little nutty about it. I love it. It is so much fun to make. So thank you for stopping by and letting me share my card with you. If you want to check out the treat holders that I made, it's going to be linked for you at the end of this video. So wait for that and click on it. If you want more inspiration from Trinity Stamps, we have new videos throughout the whole week on YouTube. Plus we're on Instagram and Facebook too. So come find us, and you'll find the supplies I used linked for you in the box below. Thanks so much for stopping by. Happy stamping! Bye!